Howdy, folks. I'm imaginative impatience, impatiently implementing ill-fated ideas.
I'm Amber.
And here are more ill-fated ideas for us to implement, or Reddit, or both. Who knows? You'll find out soon enough. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not letting my sister bring her service dog to my rococo wedding? So, I'm a 30-year-old female, and my wedding is coming up in a few months, and it's going to be a grand affair. Ever since I was a little girl, I had this weird obsession with Marie Antoinette. I've always been enchanted by the big, poofy dresses, bows, and other decorations typical of the Rococo era. Now my dream is finally coming true, and I finally get to feel like a princess of Versailles. The venue is an old mansion with an intricate decor, ornate furnishings, and delicate pastel-colored floral arrangements. My wedding dress has an ivory lace bodice and a pink off-the-shoulder neckline, and a skirt in cream pink and blue with floral patterns and pearls. My fiance, a 32-year-old male, and I have been planning this for over a year, and everything is falling into place perfectly. Now onto the issue. My sister Nan, a 28-year-old female, has a service dog, a lovely mop dog named Dreads, who helps her with her anxiety and PSTD. Dreads is incredibly well behaved and trained, but here's the thing. I don't want him at my wedding. I spent a lot of money on the venue and decorations, and frankly, I don't want a dog who looks like a matted carpet running around and potentially ruining the aesthetic. I've also had a few guests who are afraid of dogs, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. Plus, having a mop dog there just doesn't fit with the elegant, delicate vibe that I'm going for. It would be different if it was a much smaller lap dog, which I might even find adorable for a wedding. We allowed my stepdaughter to bring her peekaboo named Daisy for that reason. While Daisy is small and fits the aesthetic, Dreads is large and has the characteristic corded coat that makes him look like a mop. To make matters more complicated, Nan was supposed to be a bridesmaid, so it was an extra heck no. When I told her that Dreads couldn't come, she was really upset and brought up Daisy still being able to come. She said that she needs Dreads to feel comfortable in social situations, especially large gatherings like a wedding. I told her that while I understood that, she should come without Dreads or not come at all. She chose not to come. Now my aunt and uncle are furious with me. They say that I'm being unreasonable and selfish and that I should make an exception for Nan's needs. They also pointed out that Dreads is a service dog, not a pet, and it's illegal to deny access to service animals. I think it's my wedding, and I should be able to decide what kind of atmosphere I want. Plus, it's one day. She can manage without her dog for a few hours, right? But all this drama is making me feel like I'm the worst person ever. And I don't want to deal with it on the day that it's supposed to be about me, not her. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think?
Yes, I think OP is being the jerk because she is prioritizing aesthetics over her family's needs. Now, there may be situations, like if someone had a severe dog allergy, where you can't accommodate everyone.
Yeah.
But it's very clear here that OP just doesn't like the aesthetic of this dog. She even has another dog coming to the wedding. But no, she has to have her perfect, picture perfect wedding.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as long as Dreads is a trained service dog, he won't be jumping up in random pictures. He'll just be at the sister's side the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he might be in shots where the sister is in. And maybe, if that's a problem with the bridal party, she could step down. Or maybe if she's okay for 20 minutes without her dog right beside her, he could stay with a family member for that period of time. But yeah, I think OP is being, not very nice here.
Or why not get the dog styled for the wedding, groomed for the wedding, right? Where they get the dog all dressed up fancy and put bows in its hair or something like that. Make the dog match the decor and the whole atmosphere of it. And I think that the sister is again favoring aesthetics here over what her sister needs, and that's where the biggest problem is. Now, as for whether or not they can deny the dog entry, that only applies to places of business, right?
Right, yeah. Private establishments, you don't have to let a random dog into your house because, service animals are allowed.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the best, loophole for thieves to be knock, knock, I'm coming in because I have a service pet. You can't deny me entry. I'm just going to rob you now. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Right. So, it's not illegal, but it does seem immoral given OP's reasoning here. It's not to protect her guests.
Yeah.
It's because oh, my aesthetics might not be perfect.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that OP is in the wrong here. But let me know what you folks think. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Spend Time with My Father-in-Law After What He Said? And Amber wants to read this one.
We are newly married. I'm a 27-year-old, and my wedding was May 5th. We hosted Memorial Day barbecue for both families at our place. My younger sister Claire, 19, is autistic and goes to university to study physics and engineering. If you get her excited about a concept, she will talk about it, and she was talking about AI to everyone. My father-in-law told me, for a disabled, she is full of herself and thinks she's the smartest person in the room. I told him, she is. Since then, I haven't talked to my father-in-law and refused to spend time with him for Father's Day, this weekend, or to go to their house with the rest of my new husband's family. My husband has told me not to act butthurt over this, but because I witnessed my sister's struggle with bullying firsthand, I don't think it's something I should get over. And his father has not even apologized yet for what he said and sees nothing wrong, and I'm overreacting.
All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, no, you're not in the wrong. Honestly, I'm worried about your marriage here. Like, oh, wow, how does your husband not see this as a big deal?
Yeah.
Like, what the father-in-law said is absolutely despicable. It is very ableist.
Yeah.
And it's conflating a lot of different things here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that he's assuming that all people with autism have intellectual disabilities, which is not true, right?
No, autism is a neurodevelopmental disability. And a lot of autistic people do have concurrent intellectual disabilities, but not all do. I'm an example of someone who does not have an intellectual disability. And even if she did, like, to just be so condescending, like, even if you have an intellectual disability, you can still have a lot of knowledge in particular areas.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And so just be like, well, she is disabled, so clearly she knows nothing, and I, who have not studied AI, would clearly be an expert over her.
Well, I think this is coming from a place of, like, this doesn't feel like, if he doesn't know the subject, he feels like he's being talked down to. And that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting here. Maybe this is too much of a jump for the information that we've been given, but that's kind of how it feels. Like he feels immediately defensive that somebody knows something that he doesn't know, right? And I think that's a him problem. But the big issue, like what you were mentioning, is that the husband here isn't standing up to the father in the situation. He needs to put a foot down and say, you can't talk about my sister-in-law like this.
Right, and he should be like, I'm not going to spend time with you, Dad, until you apologize and rectify this disgusting behavior. And if you can't do that, then it may be time to reconsider this relationship.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Forcing My Family to Babysit So I Won't Have to? I'm a 19-year-old female and I'm living at home. I work a part-time job, doing some freelancing stuff, and taking care of some online courses, all in preparation for attending college next year. My sister, a 25-year-old female, had her first child 8 months ago. The father isn't involved and only pays child support. My mom is excited to have her first grandchild and is constantly offering to look after the baby so my sister can feel at ease working full-time, and afterwards will have some time to herself to relax. The thing is, about 70% of the time, I'll be the one looking after the baby. And while I admit that I enjoy it and I like spending time with him, I can't help but feel mad because they don't have any consideration for my time. Mom would drop the baby while I'm in the middle of my lessons because you can always watch the recordings later, or just ask someone to tell you what it was about. Or when I'm working on my freelance stuff because looking after a baby doesn't really require much effort, when I complain about getting delayed in my projects. My breaking point happened last week when my mother and sister left the baby with me for a whole day because I mistakenly told them both that I didn't work and I would be staying home to catch up with some of the pending stuff that I have and study. I called them both irresponsible and they called me a spoiled brat. That night, my grandma and other members of the extended family were calling and sending me messages about the importance of helping family, and to understand that my sister doesn't have it easy being a single mom. Neither does OP about being a single mom. I got mad and sent the message to my family group chat saying that they were right. Helping family is important, and we should all be supportive of my sister. I then proceeded to write a schedule in which we all could take care of the baby, because one aunt goes to visit the grandma on Mondays and Wednesday mornings, and they could babysit on those days. Eldest cousin and her siblings are at the home Friday afternoon, well, they can babysit during that time, and so on. I left Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings as my time to babysit. My sister and mom were very pleased with the arrangement. The other family, not so much. And when some pointed out that my sister didn't get the baby for a whole day, discussions about my sister being an irresponsible mother started, with my mom trying to defend her. Am I the jerk for causing this? How come they were expecting me to be my sister's unpaid nanny, but then they get offended when the same thing is being forced on them? I may be the jerk because I caused this, and I don't regret it one bit. All right, folks, what do you think?
Absolutely not the jerk. I mean, I think you just gave them, showed them what they are asking of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to volunteer someone else and be like, oh, well, family is so important. If family is so important, they got to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really a brilliant way of handling the situation. OP basically took their words and made them show their hypocrisy, right? They're being hypocrites here. If they were really this interested in helping family, then they would have jumped at helping this too and saying, you have a really good point here, but they might have negotiated the time too and said, oh, we all, this day doesn't really work for me because of XYZ. So I think that this is one of those things where they being unwilling to help at all really shows that they just were not interested in listening to what OP had to say at all, and were just content with the status quo.
Right, and that they have absolutely no regard for OP whatsoever. This is interfering with her courses, and it's interfering with her work life, and they're, well, you just have to put up with this because your sister has it so hard as a single mom.
Yeah.
Like, OP is the one acting as a single mom here.
Yeah, pretty much. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, I'm a 31-year-old male and my girlfriend, a 29-year-old female, overspends, but blames it on the woman tax. Is this real? And Amber wants to read it.
I've been living with my girlfriend for about 6 months now, and at the start of the month, she will go out and splurge around $400 on cosmetics and clothes. Because of this, she's been living paycheck to paycheck, and I usually need to help her with money towards the end of the month. I'm paying more in rent since I earn more, and a bit more to try to offset some of this since she says these things she has to buy. On top of that, I also end up needing to pay for most of our groceries since she refuses to pay her share and says I should be paying more for everything since her daily girl tax costs her so much. I'm not fully convinced about this, but I have no idea if what she buys is as important as she says, and I suppose what's important is very subjective anyway. Partly due to this, I've needed to cut back on my own lifestyle, which I'm happy with if it's what's needed, but I'm also mindful of budgeting, and I can't tell if this is a case of her splurging on things she wants or if she genuinely needs it. Examples of what she buys are clothes, makeup, skincare products, her nails professionally done. Can I please get some perspective on this, since I can't tell if being a woman is genuinely this expensive or not? My personal care is maximum $50 a month, so this splurging has always seemed very high to me.
Yeah, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, OP, I think you're in the right to be questioning this. Now, the pink tax is a thing,
Yeah.
but that's applied to like specific products. Like things like razors that are marketed towards women will be marked up for the same product, essentially, that
Because
men
they're
get.
pink, literally in a pink box. They're
Yeah.
the same product, but in a pink box.
And, menstrual hygiene products are expensive and taxed in a lot of places still. So there is a pink tax that exists, but that does not excuse her buying a bunch of clothes and makeup every month, Certainly, you're going to run out of makeup products every now and again, but like a lot of things will last you a good chunk of time.
Yeah, it sounds like she is acquiring stuff as opposed to letting things stretch. And certainly, like, clothes are something that can last a long time, right? Unless she's buying clothes that fall apart, like, within a couple of days or after the first use, or can't be washed, then there's no reason why she needs to buy clothes every single month, right? And the makeup, yeah, I mean, makeup can go quickly, but if she's using a whole palette of makeup inside of a month,
Well, that's the thing is I have eyeshadow palettes that I've had for literally years that haven't run out yet. And so, it seems like she's burning things really, really quickly, or she's just kind of hoarding them and has like a giant stack of palettes. And, I understand wanting like more makeup because it's fun, but, I think there's room for budgeting in here.
yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly room to discuss and budget and say, well, can we examine these expenses and figure out exactly where we can cut costs at? Because certainly I imagine that there are needs in there, but she's kind of conflating both needs and wants at the same time. Like skincare products, those can be very expensive, but you only need a very small amount of even like premium skincare products, right? Like a tiny drop will last you like a whole day type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if she's like scooping up like a whole fingerful of like whatever product and just like slathering it on her whole body, then maybe that's not necessary here.
Yeah, so I think especially where this is cutting into OP's quality of life, I think it's fair to have a sit down and work out a budget on these products. I think it's fair that hers may very well cost more than $50 a month, especially because period products are a thing. But I don't think that she needs to be spending $400 extra on clothes and makeup a month.
Yeah.
That's not a necessity.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a proxy for a joke.
Vacationer, we're in cabin 3. Does the rain always come through the roof like this? Owner, no, sir. Only when it rains.
That is an Airbnb that I would not want to stay at. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it spontaneous.
Oh, I'm so bad at spontaneous. Your moral is clothes. You don't need to spend $400 a month on clothes and makeup products, I guess. I don't know. It was supposed to be spontaneous.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.